Now, as you've probably noticed in the last year or so, there's been a kind of a psyop going on in regards to what is Irish, and basically the media and the political world have been trying to convince, especially our younger generation, especially the youngsters, the students and so on. We'll say the 15 to 30 cohort. They've been trying to convince them that Irish just means that you either have an Irish passport or that you happen to have been born in Ireland. They don't mention anything about genetic heritage, about ancestral heritage whatsoever. That doesn't even come into it. So this is the false idea that the young Irish generation is getting. They're kind of being betrayed as such, really. They're not being told the facts. So it's up to the likes of us to let them know what the facts are. And the facts are that about 50% or so of what makes up your character, your personality, your behaviour comes from your genetic heritage, your ancestral heritage. And you can't deny that. You can't take that out of you as such. That is who you are. That's your essence in a sense. That's an important part of your makeup as a person. So I think we need to be careful too with how we approach this, because I think if we bludgeon some of these people with very full-on information, and we try and sort of shock them into sanity, I'm not so sure that's going to work. I don't think so. I think we need a little bit more subtle approach with these people. Because they've been. Look at what we've seen in the last year or so. We've seen, especially that case of the Charlie kid in Bray, the Chinese kid, and it was an African lad in Tullamore. And sure enough, the media were there telling the people of Ireland, particularly the youngsters who would know these guys or who would have seen it in the papers and maybe of a similar age or a bit older, trying to convince them that this lad from Africa and the other lad from Chinese are as Irish as you or I, which is nonsense, of course. Of course, they've got some sort of cultural conditioning coming from the fact that they've been brought up in Ireland, fair enough, but that still doesn't remove their DNA. That doesn't, you can't deny their DNA, their genetic, their lineage, which comes completely from different continents, not even from Europe, like from Africa and from China, respectively. So it is nonsense to call these two lads Irish. They don't have any genetic connection to Ireland whatsoever. So it's simply false to call the two fellas Irish, and that's not to in any way denigrate them or to regard them as inferior or anything like that. That's the kind of false way that the media would portray it, and that's the image they give to the youngsters as well. So that's what we have to counter. So I think, we just need to. I think my approach would be, when you're talking to young people about this, talk about ethnicity, talk about Irish ethnicity, and just mention to them that Irish is a distinct ethnicity. There is such a thing as Irish ethnicity. It's made of predominantly of Celts, with also some Norman involvement there too. Of course, you have the Vikings, and there would also be the presence of some of the Scots coming over as well. Now, there would be small admixtures from other groups as well, but that's mostly it, and it's predominantly Celts. It's 80% or thereabouts of the Irish genome comes from the Celts, and most of my genetic ancestry as well come from the Celts, incidentally. But I think, talking about ethnicity, mentioning that Ireland is a distinctive ethnicity, who are we to deny that? Who are we to deny anyone's ethnicity, anyone's ancestral heritage? And we can say the same of the people coming into Ireland, or the people who've been born in Ireland but to non-Irish parents. We can also say these people also have a distinct ethnicity, whether it be from Poland, whether it be from for somewhere like Pakistan or India, whether it be from Nigeria or Congo, somewhere like that, whether it be from Brazil or Colombia or wherever it is. All of those people have a distinctive ethnicity. It is not for us to deny that ethnic their ethnic makeup. Who are we to do that? Yes, if they're in Ireland, of course, they get some cultural conditioning from Ireland, but that does not make them Irish. We need to separate, we need to let these people know, but in a subtle way, that purely to have an Irish passport or to have been born in Ireland does not somehow change your DNA, change your genetic makeup, that you're somehow magically become Irish. That Irish is actually a distinctive ethnicity, and you can't hijack that. In the same way that I would not want to hijack some of the Nigerian ethnic groups. I would not want to hijack some of the ethnic groups from Pakistan or over there. You know, so think of it in that sense. It's a form of colonialism. It's a form of hijacking of an actual ethnic group, of an ethnic identity. If you can say to someone, purely by arriving into a country, buying a passport, or if you happen to have been born there, just because your mother happened to be in the country at the time, that somehow magically makes you of that country. It magically makes you Nigerian, of one of the Nigerian ethnic groups, or magically makes you a Thai person because you happen to have been in the country at the time, or you somehow that you become a Chilean person overnight because you bought a Chilean passport. Just get the idea over of the nonsense that is. That citizenship does not equate to being of the country. This is the key point, and it can be done. We just need to be clever about it. So highlight the idea of ethnicity. Each person coming into Ireland has a specific ethnicity. We can't just hijack that. We can't just say that doesn't matter. That's a specific thing. That's a biological fact, and it cannot be denied. And I think that's our best way of subtly getting the message through to people that to be an Irish citizen is just a status. It's just a legal status. It means nothing beyond that. But to be Irish is something that comes from established scientific fact from our genetic heritage, and that cannot be denied.